What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty, behind the camera from Ty Drives, and this is the 2022 Land Rover Defender. And this one is in the SE X Dynamic trim with the P400 powertrain, just so we know what we're looking for here. And this is just an exceptionally cool vehicle. You know, all of the things that come together just make this car such a unique vehicle, and unique to drive as well. But throughout this video, we're going to be taking a look at all of the features, starting on the exterior. Then we'll pop the hood, because there are 3 different powertrains I'd like to discuss. Then get into the cargo area, and then make our way forward to the rear seats, and finally discuss all of the features in the front seats. Take a look at my channel, because we will have a separate devoted video for a first-person point of view driving segment. So make sure to look at my channel for that video. But starting off the features, full LED headlamps for both the high and low beams, daytime running lights, turn signals, everything like that. And you also have headlamp washers. The fog lamps are also LED powered, and you also have parking sensors that span the front bumper. You can see the little camera up here too for the front. The X Dynamic and our Land Rover badging, Defender, and pretty neat hood. Take a look at these little accents here. They are plastic, but really good homage to the older Defenders. Pretty neat. Just a very boxy, upright design for this vehicle, and man, does it just look so nice. This has lots of glossy black too. Now, I don't have the window sticker that came with the vehicle. However, I can tell you this has a pretty good amount of options to it. I believe it has some sort of black package to it. Now, tires measure 255/60. And the wheels measure up at 20 inches, so it looks pretty good on this vehicle too. Again, lots and lots of gloss black, even towards the bottom where most SUVs will have sort of flat black. Very nice upright windshield. Sort of have these black elements that kind of give the roof this like floating design. Really neat. Pretty large mirrors too. As you can see, there's a camera on the bottom for the camera system. One of the neatest camera systems I've ever seen on any vehicle, and we'll get into that just a bit. We have the blind spot warning on there too, and they're also power folding. Smart key, just tap the little pad right there to lock and unlock, and that's for all 4 door handles. Taking a look back here, we have the same size wheels and tires. Take a look at the rear profile. Just say there's not much profile to it, because it's just straight up and down. Very neat. Up top here, we have the sort of corner windows, which look very cool, and the gloss black roof rails. You take a look up there, we of course have the panoramic roof system, completely LED. Tail lamps back here too. Just look at the design. It's just modern ruggedness for this vehicle for days. So of course, LED tail lamps back here, the tail lamps, brake lights, turn signals, everything is all LED. We have a couple of different badgings back here, Defender and the Powertrain, and the handle for the rear. Of course, the spare tire out on the back, exposed tow hook covers, rear parking sensors, and the whole 9 yards. We also have the trailering hitch, and which you could tow a max of 8,200 pounds with this vehicle, so that's pretty good. And the Land Rover badging back here as well. So I think by the excitement in my voice, you could probably tell what I think of the looks of this vehicle. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments about this Defender. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So in 2022, the Defender has 3 different powertrains available. One, a turbocharged 4-cylinder, which produces 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, which is adequate. This one, however, we have is the mid powertrain. So it's a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6, and that produces 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. But if you want even more power, and I mean even more power by quite a bit more power, you can get a 5-liter supercharged V8 with 518 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. So pretty wide array of engine options here, and this one actually is a mild hybrid, so you can kind of tell that by the rings that go around the alternator. So pretty good power with this vehicle too. I believe 0 to 60 is just under 6 seconds. So pretty good power for a robust vehicle like this. Lots of supports going on with the top of the strut towers and bracing and things like that. So that's really good to see. Regardless of engine choice, you will get an 8-speed automatic, and of course you'll have a 4-wheel drive system with high and low range. Okay, so cargo area in the Defender. Just kind of reach on over here, and it's kind of like an electronic pad that releases the door. And once you open it all the way, it opens to pretty much a 90-degree angle. So it gives you a pretty good amount of space to get all of your stuff inside. Once you get inside, there's some pretty neat things about this cargo area. One, as you could see, these cool windows on the side there. And there's also just lots of like rugged material back here, such as the kind of plastic suit to the seat backs, and also underneath the cover. It's all a very rugged material. You also have the rubber liner and rubber mats. But take a look at this. I have a little controller back here for fan speed. Now, if you have pets or anything that stay back here, you can keep them nice and cool. You can adjust it with that dial or also through the infotainment screen. So that is pretty neat as well. A little Land Rover tote bag back here is part of an accessory. And once you lift up the cargo floor, you can see you have all the tools to change out the spare tire back here, LED illumination, and all of your sort of power outlets and things like that back here. The center, or the rear seats I should say, fold at a 40-20-40, and I'll show you how to fold those down once we get into the rear seats. And that pretty much does it for the cargo area. Pretty cool back here. So let's take a look at what the rear cabin has to offer. So we swing open the door, it's pretty large. You can see the exposed rivets on the inside, which is really neat. And there's a pretty neat combination of materials back here too. It's sort of this kind of all-weather material here, and then there's also perforated leather in the middle of the seats as well. So that's pretty neat. We have a couple of things on the door worth mentioning. So first, 14-speaker Meridian audio system. You have a little bit of storage down below. You also have nice door handles and a pretty neat little light right here. So if you're in the city or downtown area and you're parallel parked, this little indicator will light up if there is a car coming past you like this. So it'll just alert you not to open the door at the time. Pretty neat feature. And then you also have the window switch back here too. On the backs of the rear seats, we have little USB chargers, a little bit of storage back here as well. And take a look at the floors on this vehicle. No carpets. It's all sort of this rubberized plastic, so that if you have to wash out the vehicle from going off-roading from the day, you'll have no issues with doing that. You also have a grab handle up there to grab onto when getting in the vehicle. Very nice seats, sort of a combination of leather, very nice leather too, and this kind of has these perforations to keep it cool, and this sort of all-weather material as well. Now the headrests are kind of upright, but you can fold them down like so. You could also fold down the rear seats. There's a little handle right here if you'd like to fold them flat, and then a handle for the rear once you can fold it down like that. And if you have the headrest folded, it will fold completely flat, which is a very nice feature to have. You also have the center folding portion. We have the little button right here. So you can fold that 20 part of the seat down like so, and also a armrest for the rear too. So let's hop in and see how much room there is back here. Very upright seating position. It kind of feels like you're altered over the front seats, which is a really neat feeling. As far as legroom back here, there is plenty. I am 5'10". I have the front seat adjusted to a normal position for myself. As you can see, lots and lots of legroom back here. We also have some climate control, so it's kind of a 4-zone climate for this, really kind of a 5-zone climate, because we have individual climate zones for the driver, the front passenger, and 2 zones for the rear passengers, and then a 5th zone for your furry friends that will be sitting in the trunk area. But we have sort of the climate control here, so we can twist like so with the fan speed, and then where the air comes out, it's also automatic, which is pretty neat. We have some power outlets back here, some 12 volts and then USB-Cs, and then of course both seat backs have the USB type A. Flat floor back here too, so it'll be very easy to sit a center passenger back here, so they won't be struggling for leg room or sort of width room, because it's a pretty wide vehicle as well. Panoramic sunroof continues very nicely back here, and we have a full black headliner. Also have some tap illumination with the grab handles and things like that. Just overall a really neat vehicle to be in. And at this point, check out the front seats. All right, so checking out the business end. Pretty neat. Same design as the rear doors with the exposed rivets. Just a pretty rugged yet classy looking door panel, and really for the whole interior, it's got that rugged, classy look to it, if that makes any sense. We have a couple of speakers on the door and a bunch of controls, some for the child locks, which are powered, all 4 of our window controls, and we also have the power folding heated mirror controls, a 3-person memory for the both the front passengers, which is pretty neat, in that same illumination for the blind spot. A little bit of storage down below, and again, really nice materials kind of padded up here. But you can also see some of the exposed metal, which is pretty neat to me. On the left of the dash, we have a pretty big storage area, some nice material covering the instrument panel. You can also see we have a heads-up display. Our electronic parking brake is down here, as well as the gauge dimmer, hood release, and our pedals. And again, you can see the rubber floors, very nice, and the Defender nameplate. This also has a power tilt telescoping steering wheel, however, the controls are on the other side. Full powered seats, of course, with the ability to adjust your headrest and 4-way lumbar. Just a super rugged looking interior, and I absolutely love it. So let's hop in and see what else this interior has to offer. All right, so now that we're zoomed out, we can see the interior a little bit better. Here is the key for the Defender. Pretty typical Land Rover Jaguar key. Nice chrome accents. We have a little slide out for the bottom where you can access the physical key. We have the lock, unlock, trunk release, panic alarm, and the ability to turn on the exterior lights if you'd like. A pretty nice high quality key fob there, and we of course have the push button start. Now this is a mild hybrid vehicle, so when you start it up you won't hear a traditional cranking of the starter. The engine just kind of gently whirs to life. Pretty interesting when you first experience it, but you will get used to it, especially if you're a car guy like me. It's a pretty interesting startup sequence. Nonetheless, take a look at this steering wheel. Really neat, sort of like this rugged plastic accents on the steering wheel, and pretty cool capacitive touch buttons too on the steering wheel, and we'll kind of get into those now. We have some phone menus and things like that, voice commands, kind of a programmable button right there. You can kind of go through the infotainment and program what you want that button to do. You also have the audio volume here and more controls for the center LCD screen, which we will get into in just a minute. We can turn our lane keep assist on and off with a quick touch of the button right there, and we have the rest of our cruise control and adaptive cruise control at that. We also have the heated steering wheel button. So again, really cool buttons for the steering wheel. I kind of like how they're not gloss black, so you don't get all your fingerprints all over them, but you still have the benefit of it being sort of a capacitive touch style button. Over here we have all of our lighting controls, so regular headlights, automatic high beams as well, and then you also have front and rear fog lamps, which is pretty nice. And over here we have the front and rear wiper controls, and down here the adjustment for the tilt telescoping steering wheel. Now full LED or LCD display up here, and again we're going to use these sort of arrows and the OK in the center to configure the screen, as well as the slider doubles for the volume and to control things throughout the screen there. So we kind of just press down and we can then configure things like the heads-up display. You can scroll over to adjust the position of that heads-up display as well. You can scroll over again to, let's see here, what we want to see on our display, sort of trip computers, what the media is doing, tire pressure informations and things like that. Then we could also, where is that menu here? Right here. We can adjust what we see on the layout. So we have 2 dials, 1 dials, and we can also adjust to a full map. So it really just does kind of change the whole look of the screen here, which is pretty cool. But for now, I think we'll just leave it on the traditional 2 dial screen so you can see that. And then we can also display what kind of goes in the center, and for now I have the media or the navigation displayed, which is pretty awesome. But kind of permanently you'll have the 2 normal dials, such as the speedometer and the tachometer. Pretty neat heads-up display. I'm not quite sure if you could see it, but it's kind of right up there. It'll display your navigation directions and some off-roading things, what gear you're in, and the speed, which is pretty nice. Center channel speaker up top. Very nice screen here. Now I know kind of playing tricks with the camera here with but there's no lines going through the screen or anything. Kind of just go through some of the screens. We have the navigation right here, and go back to the home, have the phone and media screens. So we have kind of what's playing, favorites, things like that. Then we also have some off-roading screens here, which is really neat. Kind of shows you the articulation of the suspension and what angle your steering is at, the level and kind of grade. It shows you that your differential is unlocked, what's going on up here if you're high and low range for the four-wheel drive. We have a compass, all of your wheel information, and also have the wade sensing for the water. So you can see you can go through a maximum of 2 foot 9 inches of water. Pretty neat. We can also scroll over to our energy impact screen, which is pretty neat. Kind of shows you how much energy the vehicle is taking up at that particular time. So you can see I turn the AC on, taking up a little bit more gas and things like that. Economy tips for driving and a history. Very, very neat camera system for this vehicle. I think one of the best in the industry, honestly. It's really great for off-roading too. With this kind of 3D display here, where we can adjust the different angles with the arrows, and also with the front here, so we kind of get wide angle views or just a regular angle for the reversing, and sort of the side. You can take a look at the corners of the vehicle, make sure we're not hitting any large obstacles or anything. Also, press this off-road tab here so we can see kind of the front wheels, and we also have towing cameras too. One really neat thing I noticed just moving this vehicle around, it'll actually stitch together the view of the underneath of the vehicle. So once you start driving, it'll kind of show you what's underneath the vehicle. It's really, really intuitive camera system on this vehicle. We also have kind of just our basic settings and things like that. Sort of all settings, and really neat sort of screen here. Just the general gist of the screen too. One more thing I thought was pretty interesting is the vehicle dimensions. It gives you all of the dimensions of the vehicles, including the ground clearances and things like that. So that's pretty neat. I don't think I've ever seen that in any car before, but this car has it. So again, we're working with an 8-speed torque converted transmission. Here's the gear lever for it. And just pull it down into drive. We have a sport mode, and then we can engage a manual mode by just moving around the shifter like so. And pull up into reverse. Of course, your reversing camera pops up, and then just the P for park. Nice to see physical climate controls here, although you can control the climate in the screen as well. So we have both of our temperatures for either side over here. Push down to activate the either 3-stage heated or 3-stage cooled seats. Pretty neat there. Then we can also press this dial to change the fan speed, and then this dial here to change the different driving modes. So that's pretty cool. All the different modes down below. And we have an eco, sort of a, let's see, comfort, grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, and then a sort of rock crawl mode. But for our test drive, we're going to leave that in the economy mode there. Various other climate controls and other buttons like the low range for the transmission, the traction control, and auto start stop on and off, hill descent mode. And you can also turn on your heated windshield, so it's actually heated, so you really don't need a front defroster. But we have the rear defrosters and the more climate control and where you want the air to blow, and just press whatever area you'd like there. And also your audio volumes. That pretty much does it with this section here. Now, pretty open section over here too, since you can get this vehicle with a bench seat up front. So we kind of have this open design for the center, even though this has the 2 bucket seats, of course. USB-C and USB-A inlets, 12-volt power outlet, and a pretty large storage cover. You kind of access it from the top or the sides. We have some cup holders, inductive charging pad, and some storage in the center there. More storage up here in sort of a shelf style with another USB-C, and even more storage with the lockable glove box. Taking a look up here, we have a nice frameless auto dimming and garage door opener mirror. A couple of controls up here for the sunshade and sunroof, and your sort of sunglass holder there. Now this one will open up the sunroof. So see how much light we have coming in from the sunroof. Very large opening panel too, and then this control will open up the vent or sliding function of the sunroof. We also have pretty nice visors here with a mirror and light, and of course we can't forget the grab handles. That pretty much does it for the features review of this Defender. Very neat vehicle, and that pretty much does it for the video. Now, if you'd like to see driving impressions, please be sure to check out our channel. I'll be uploading the driving video. I'm going to strap the GoPro on my head, like I said earlier, and we'll go for a nice 10-minute drive for this vehicle, put a couple miles on it, kind of see what it's like around in the back roads, bumpier section of roads, and we'll get a good acceleration clip and things like that. So make sure to check my channel if you'd like to see that Tide drives. But thank you for watching this video. And stay tuned, there'll be plenty more where this came from.